Eugene, I want to ask about memory. It seems that my memory is getting really bad. It quite worries me at times. Is there some reason that it would be getting so bad? Is there a reason for that that's not just the aging of the cells? Is it a natural process, losing the memory? How to increase it? How to be able to remember things that are important and necessary?
So that's it. But something you are forgetting. If you forget other things, you forget that you are with me. Whatever it is, whether you put the milk on the stove and you forget it, it's a different thing. But are we remembering that we are here, you are with me? If you forget this, you forget other things also. So in one way, all spiritual endeavor, the methods, the so-called methods, whatever may be in different ways, I see that they are in one way or other trying to improve your memory. It's a practicing of the memory practices. If you do Nama Japa, for instance, just think what you are doing. You are remembering. You are trying to keep the name in memory. You are memorizing it in one way. Letting not the mind forget the name. Enquiry. Don't forget about the inquiry. Where am I? Where am I? Where am I? And we forget. Again, keep putting the mind in. Whatever it is, all these, the so-called spiritual endeavors are oriented towards improving your memory.
So effort is required then?
If it is effortless, yes, effort is required. If it is effortlessly, the memory is there, no problem. And to some extent, for small things, as you said, the aging is also there, but there is only one of the factors. And that happens only with the small, trivial, petty things, but not the very important thing. We should not forget. Forgetfulness is not good. Many people think that in the spiritual life, because they are so much absorbed in that self, they forget about these mundane things.
No, that's not good.
If our interest is there, our love is there, our awareness is there, the memory will be there. This is at some extent, this aging process will be there. But that applies to only petty things.
But it's as if you're saying that if our memory is on that, like doing the Nama or on Baba, then there's less memory left over for the other things. Because if we're occupied with that, then naturally our mind and our attention won't be on those other things, so it won't stick in our minds. We won't be able to recall. Is that right? That's what you're saying, because
sometimes it happens. Usually it won't happen.
So how to remedy that then?
To improve the awareness. If you are aware of one thing, you are in my presence now. If you are always keeping it in your mind that we are in the presence, then this awareness, this practice, or whatever you call it, keeping your mind on that, it gives the memory for all the other things also. If we can't remember that, what can you remember this? I am not saying that you have to remember everything, but when that memory becomes like that, it comes in a way. When it's needed, it comes. Not that always we are trying to dump our brains with all these things. No, it's no need. There is no need for memorizing anything, trying to remember something. When our nature, our state of awareness is that when something passes, one could be able to leave it like that on the moment. But when it comes again, the need for it comes, then it has to remember it also. Why we forget is, at the time that we are experiencing that, our awareness is not in the right state. If we are aware of things in a proper way, then when it needs to come to the memory, it comes.
What's the proper way?
Try to remember why we are here. What we are doing. Are we doing things for which we are supposed to come here? In what way that we can try to experience it in a better way and express it in a better way? We say we have come for you, we are staying with you. But what we do the whole day, how we are spending? For shopping, going around and trying for a jacket or a skirt, exploring all the market, the Madras market, and getting very tired because of the pollution and all these things. And some people, even because of they are that busy the whole day, they can't come even for 8 o'clock, even for the Udi. Because they are busy the whole day, and they are for us, for me. What you do here when you come here? Is it the presence means just sitting in front of you? The so-called Sakshatkar? No, this is not Sakshatkar. We know the Shankara concept of Sakshatkar, with the heart eye, this is Sakshatkar. If that is really Sakshatkar which you believe, even when you come down and sitting, when you are aware that I am up, try to feel the presence there. In your own way, your so-called Sakshatkar. No, we don't. Chit-chat. Very rarely see people sitting quietly, trying to experience the presence of life. Only very few people. Don't try to confine your contact with me only for this half an hour or 5 minutes or 1 hour. Try to let it expand. Then you will understand why we are here, what we have to do, what we are doing, what I am supposed to do. All these things you understand. And when you try to make your mind in such a state that everything comes and you experience it fully, and the moment when it is passes, it should not touch you. Every minute try to experience it, try to be here. And how to experience it? Try to sit here and try to experience it. In order to make milk heated, what we do? We put it on a stove and fire, so that it also catches fire. If you really want to catch fire, be here and try to be on the stove. If you keep the milk apart in the refrigerator, how can it be heated? As long as our focus is there on the presence and the awareness, as long as you remember, whether you forget about putting the milk on the stove and then forget, nothing will happen. But don't forget this. Remember this. As long as you remember this, no problem. You have this memory. And if you remember this, you will remember that also. And if you forget this, you will forget this also. That is what one of the great saints said in one of the scriptures. Forgetfulness is death. What is death? He said forgetfulness is death. Let us live. Let us avoid the death. Be in complete awareness. Where we are, what we want to achieve, what we are doing, what we are getting and what we are not getting. And what we have to do in order to get that what we are not getting. And let all our activities, our thoughts, our actions, our speech be focused and channelized to that end. Then it will be of any use or any meaning, you being here. I will tell you one thing. Now I am speaking to you. Now you are listening to my speech. When I don't speak, you listen to the roar of the sea. The sea is very wild. And the breeze. The dog is barking. It is laughing. When I am speaking, You are not aware of it. This awareness should be like this. All your activities is like I am speaking. As long as you do something, whether you put milk on the stove, it should be like you are listening to my speech. And the moment you are not doing anything, your mind should be there. You are listening to the perpetual sound of the sea. It's always there. Even when you are speaking to me, you are listening to it. You are hearing it and you are not listening to it. You are hearing the sound, but you are listening to my speech. And when you are not listening to my speech, you hear and you listen to the sound also. The silence, the heart, the happiness, the bliss, the love, the thrill of the love is the roar of the sea. And you always hear it. And all your actions is based on that hearing. And when you do any activity, you do it. Just like you are listening to me. And the moment you stop, you should be able to listen to the roar of the sea. Not ruminating. Like a cow or a buffalo, what has anxiously eaten, the grass. What a cow or a buffalo does? It eats avariciously. And then slowly it tries to bring it back and then try to digest it. That is what we do. Because of so many anxieties, trust, fear, we experience these things in the world like a buffalo eating the grass. And when we are alone, we are sitting quietly, we try to bring it back and ruminate it. Don't try to live like a buffalo and a cow. Live like human beings who eat thoroughly and experience it at the moment.
But there does not appear to be any quick way to break this habit.
Let it take it a long way, no problem. But
yes, but it is a very long process. It takes years and years.
It's not actually a long process. Because you have the presence, you have the sea. Even if you forget, it's there. You need not create the whole of the sea. It's there. The only thing is you are not focusing your attention on it. And at least when you are here, by the sea, by the beach, the real beach, try to listen to that. And when you say something, and when you do something, the next minute, you should not have any traces of it. You are there also. And when a need to come for the action, you will do it perfectly. When you act, you act. When you are still, be still. When you will be still, if you experience this, if you catch the fire, you have to catch the fire, being near the fire and on the fire. Do it in your own way. Explore your own methods, your own techniques. I don't have a technique for it. Because there are umpteen 1,000 millions of techniques. The object is that. Then nothing disturbs you. Nothing is capable of creating suffering in your heart. The so-called suffering has to be afraid of standing in front of us to make us suffer. It has to fail. Then our life has a meaning.
श्री सच्चिदानंद सद्गुरु साईनाथ महाराज की जय। साईं बाबा 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 साईं